G'day, my name's Chris. Welcome back to the shed. Welcome back to Flat Tank Friday. It's been a while, but my hands are dirty. I've been doing something. This self-isolation probably suits me. I've been beavering away in the shed over the last few weeks, and I'm pretty happy with how things are coming along. It's been a pretty good outcome. For the people who've been messaging me and saying g'day, thanks. It's really good. It's nice to know that people have missed a bit of content, so I'll try a bit harder. The special is on the agenda today, and I've had a pretty good result. I'm going to bring you along for the ride as I attempt to reband a sprocket on the engine, fit some chain, and a bit of a talk about a clutch and the gearbox. I hope you enjoy. Cheers. In a perfect world, I suppose this would all be a bit more scientific and I'd be a bit more of a machinist, but I'm not, so you do what you can. This is the boss that held the sprocket on my special, and I machined the teeth off that. I haven't got any video because I wasn't sure it was going to work. Took a heap of coolant and a lot of patience, but I machined it off. This is a 16 tooth sprocket that I bought, and I'm not sure that I shouldn't have bought a bigger sprocket, but I didn't. So I put the 4-jaw chuck on, and I'm not really good with 4-jaw chucks, and I bored the centre out. I'm really close to being perfect. Is it perfect? I don't think so, but it's really close, and it might do. So I've machined a 40mm hole in the centre of that, and I'm going to machine just over 40mm on that. Freeze this, heat that, drop the two together. That's the plan at this stage. It's going better than I thought, so I started videoing it. I was machining the sprocket and I thought, oh, this is never going to work. I'm never going to get it lined up properly. I'm no Adam Booth, that's for sure. But I did my best. And if it doesn't work, sprocket's cheap. I'm going to get on and machine this down to just over 40mm, and we'll see how we go. Here's my attempt at putting a chain tensioner in. I've really only put it in so that the chain clears the footrest. It just brings it up enough that it'll come over the top, and then it'll all come back together where the chain goes. This is off eBay. It comes off a Yamaha 450 or a 470 trail bike of some description, and I'm hoping it all works out alright. It's just mounted onto the back of the centre stand mount. I made a new bolt and left a bit of room to tap a thread in the end of it. Hopefully it'll work. This is the big Albion clutch that I've been messing around with. I'm going to pull all this apart and show you more of it as I get everything back together. Now back to trying to machine the sprocket. Chose not to bore you with the machining part. There it is. It's cut back 6.9mm and it's cut into 40.5 and this is 40.3. It's almost a press fit. I think with a really big hammer you could smack the bejesus out of it and it might go on. All that said, I intend to pop the boss into the freezer for a few hours, and then I intend to heat this up, expand this, shrink that, and then I'm going to drop the two together and hit them with a big hammer. And we're going to see how it goes. At this stage, I'm relatively pleased. I think it's an outcome. I think this is pretty good. The machining isn't the best quality, whatever that is. It's as hard as my head, and it's pretty difficult to machine. Sprocket, on the other hand, was easy to machine. Is it perfectly in the centre? No, I reckon I'm like a few hundredths of a millimetre out, but I could be wrong. Let's see how it looks. Off for the freezer and the blowtorch. Alright, I've got the I had the Boss in the freezer behind me, or the fridge behind me. It's actually been in the freezer inside for an hour or more. I just picked it up and brought it out here. I don't know whether I've got this expansion ratio right or not, so we're about to find out. I don't actually know how hot I need to make this. This is all just sheer guesswork. So I'm going to heat this up until I think it's hot, or hot enough. It's expanded. I'm just going to get myself a pair of pliers. Yes, this is the only blowtorch I have. It'd be better if I had something with a broader flame, but I don't. So I'm just going to keep moving it. It'd probably be better if I had something like a little forge or something that I could put this in, but then maybe it'd get too hot. I'm not really sure. I do have a heat brick out of a wood fire, so I'm hoping that it doesn't sink too much heat away from it and that this warms up relatively quickly. Just going to flip it over. I'm going to bring you back when I've got this hot enough. Alright, I reckon I'm just about ready to have a go at this. That's just under red hot. If I pause for very long in one place, it glows red hot. A dull red, admittedly. So, I don't know at what point the expansion is done. We're about to find out, I reckon. Move that stool behind me. Shut that off. Boss out of the freezer. And it fits. That's incredible. That's incredible. I am well pleased with that. So I had about 0.2 of a millimetre, and I froze the top and heated the bottom, and that has just gone in unbelievably. I can hear that sizzling like a steak on a flame. That's pretty incredible. I'm pretty pleased with that, as you can tell. That fits really cleanly on the back there. I'm going to let that slightly cool down and admire my handiwork, I suppose. I'm pretty pleased with it. It worked just how I thought it might. Prior to heating it up and freezing, you could have got a really big mash hammer and beat the life out of it, and it would have fitted, I suppose. But just those two things, and that has gone together really, really simply. That is brilliant. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to clean up, and I'll bring you back and we'll have a closer look. Alright, I've been out for a walk and I've let the sprocket and the Boss cool naturally on the heat brick. I didn't have a heat blanket or anything that I could wrap it in, so I didn't. I just sat it here and went for a walk. I'm really, really, really pleased. It has sealed itself up. I'm sure it's not tight enough and it probably needs welded into place, and I'll do that in due course. For now, I'm really, really pleased, and I think it's alright. Is 16 teeth the right amount? I don't know. Doesn't matter, the sprockets cost 3/5 of nothing, and the boss is right, and the fit is tight as. It was amazing. So I went back to my measurements. There was a gap, a difference in inner and outer diameter of about 0.27 of a millimetre. So in heating up the outside and freezing the inside, I got that comfortably, and it just slipped straight together. Really, really pleased. And it went tss and sizzled like a steak and kind of bound itself together. It looks really straight, and I'm going to get on and fit it up to the bike. There's everything loosely assembled. I'm going to call that a pretty good day's work. Very happy with the way the sprocket went onto the boss. Installed onto the engine, the chain lines up the front and the rear sprocket really well, and you know, if there's any out of alignment, it's minute. I think everything's good. The chain tensioner or the roller on the bottom certainly brings the chain up and lets it clear the footrest, and I'm going to call that good too. We'll see how that thing wears. Very desirable outcome for me, and I'm pretty happy with it. Well, that's Flat Tank Friday for another week. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you're like me and you can see that my special is coming along. It's a slow old process, and chains and sprockets and all that stuff are pretty hard work, and getting things to fit when maybe they're not meant to. I'm really happy with the boss. I'm really happy with the clutch at this stage, but the clutch is still a bit of an unknown. The process has been pretty good, and as a project the bike's come along pretty well. Next in line, I think, is to line up the sprocket on the gearbox with the rear wheel. By my calculations, it's about right. I've spaced it pretty right, so that's the next job for me, to take some chain that I've got behind me here and fit up a chain and make sure everything's running true. I've also got to bolt the gearbox in. I've yet to actually drill the mounting holes in the engine mounts, on the gearbox mounts, to mount the gearbox in. So that's one of the next jobs. And then just get the tension right on everything and see if it all fits correctly. So at this stage, it's happy days. I hope you've enjoyed it. Keep watching. Thumbs up if you like it, and if you don't, that's okay too. Cheers. You have a great weekend.